And now to discuss more about the impact of the Fed rate hike on the rupiah and markets in Indonesia, we are going to discuss more with the Executive Director of the Institute for Development of Economics and Finance, or INDEF, Pak Tauhid Ahmad. Hi, Pak Tauhid. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for your invitation.
Right. So the U.S. Federal Reserve, they raised their interest rates widely expected by 75 basis points. However, they reiterated that they will continue to raise rates aggressively for the rest of the year. How will this impact Indonesia? Let's start first with the impact on the Indonesian rupiah, which has been weakening to 15,000 rupiah per US dollar.
Yeah, I think the impact to the Indonesia rupiah will more slowly than before, because the gap between the Fed rate and the central bank of BI rate more, I think, quite far, and they raise 75 basis point. We raise 50 basis point. So there is gap between United States and our BI 7 days repo rate. That's why the impact to rupiah is more slowly than we think. The second one, because now United States in the good condition, the inflation going down. At the beginning of the September, the inflation rate 8.5%. So with this condition, the United States will I think they will make some policy to increase their rate maybe in the end of this month or on early of October, because they have no chance to make solve the inflation too high, because they go until 2%. So this change, I think, will make Indonesia will not too much option to have many policy, and then I think for the rupiah will more depreciate if the rate of Bank Central is the base point only 50%.
Right. So to sum it up, you are still optimistic about the rupiah's performance even amid the Fed rate hike. Are you concerned about capital outflows now that the Fed is intent on raising interest rates aggressively for the rest of the year?
Because we have to progressive then before to if you want to our rupiah come back below the 15,000. If not, for the investor to SBN or our on stock market, if the rupiah, if the rate is lower, I think is not interesting to them to come back to Indonesia, because we know the capital outflow more faster than before, because United States impressive to increase their rate. So I think Bank Indonesia will think about maybe in the next months to think about how to increase the BI rate, so to stop the capital outflow in Indonesia.
Right, so you're seeing more interest rate hikes by Bank Indonesia. Now let's move on to stock markets and the impact of the Fed rate hike on the Indonesian stocks. Today we saw the IDX, the Indonesian Composite Index, actually rose after the Fed rate hike. It rose mostly because Bank Indonesia also rose their interest rates. So amid all this, are you still positive that the Indonesian stock market will still sustain its performance amid the Fed rate hikes, or are you not so optimistic? What is your sentiment?
Yeah, I think for the short term, will be positive impact. And then I mean, in 1 week or 2 weeks, the market will appreciate this bank central to raise the rate, but come back to the problem because the comeback because the fundamental of Indonesia economy still have a problem with the oil price, and this become one reason why in Indonesia economy still they still wait and see with the fundamental economy in this situation. That's why maybe in the short term, they will have appreciate, but after this, yeah, the market will going down, not too much, but I think that's why a market will think about this position.
Short term, the Indonesian stock markets, you're still seeing some appreciation, but in the medium to long term, the Indonesian stock market might not perform so well in your projection. Let's talk about...
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about the sectors in the Indonesian Compass Index, which will be impacted the most by the Fed rate hikes and which will perform better.
Yeah, I think stock market will still on the commodity, on the sector of energy. I think that's good because we know because the with the energy is not solved. It's not solved in the short-term period. We have problem with the Ukraine and also with Russia. So the energy is still a biggest issue. So the market will I think will positive because the value of the and also the value of the energy sector still good opportunity to investor. That's the second one. The second one is on industry sector. I think good opportunity because Indonesia is now going normally. Domestic consumption become normally, so industry sector will more rapidly growth, and then a lot of import will come to Indonesia. So it is a lot of a good position to our industry, mostly from the import material. So I think the two sectors that will have a positive impact, but for the problem is with the I think for the construction sector is maybe a low position, and also in the agricultural sectors, I think we have problem. Except for the plantation sector, I think it's positive, but for the other agriculture, I think that's the lowest I think the lowest situations.
Right. So as you mentioned, there are energy stocks and industry stocks. Of course, energy, many of energy commodity prices are still high, including coal prices.
Yeah.
Let's move back to the U.S. For a second. Let's talk about the U.S. economy. The Fed rate hikes, many people, many analysts are concerned that the U.S. economy could head into a recession. What is your projection? When or is the U.S. economy going to enter a recession, and when do you project that will happen, Pa?
Yeah, this year economic growth in U.S. around 2%, and next year projection about 1%. I think start from the end of this year, the recession will begin. So because because the central bank raise up the Fed rate, so this impact to the real sector, and also cost of fund will rise. So for the people on the business sector will negative perception of this Fed rate. So the problem is of course when a government United States will if they want to decrease the inflation, of course the growth will also decrease too. That's we saw that we call it that we call it that the stagflation, maybe stagflation one of those. So they want to the the opposite side for the stagflation.
Right.
So in the short and the medium term, the Fed's rate maybe will increase, not only this month, maybe next month.
Right. Just as very quickly, we're running out of time. What is your projection on when the U.S. could enter a recession?
I think the end of this year,
The end of this year. Okay.
in the
And
quarter of 4 of this year.
in the fourth quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, amid all that, just very quickly, Indonesia's economic growth, are you still positive? Or, as you said, Bank Indonesia will have to increase interest rates to counter the Fed's interest rate hikes. You still
Yeah.
positive that Indonesia's economy will achieve 5% economic growth this year?
Yeah. I believe the economic growth in Indonesia will rise about 5%, but some government told us that maybe much higher than 5%, 5.3 or 5.4, because the consumption now we see on the market, on the region, they not I think the consumption is quite good in this month. Even the oil price higher than before.
Still optimistic about Indonesia's economic growth, strong consumer demand in Indonesia, as you said.
Yeah.
Tauhid Ahmad, the Executive Director of INDEF, thank you so much for giving us your insights today, Pak.